The lighting of the traditional nanipak, the seal oil lamp, brings together ancient elements from the earth and sea. Yarak, ivrok, and okfok, stone, moss, and seal oil, meant survival for Arctic peoples. Nanipak also symbolizes the bringing together of many Arctic peoples to rekindle the Northwest Native trade fair traditions from long ago. Hundreds, sometimes thousands of people met peaceably at Sisulik or Katitqiglugligput and gathered food, competed in traditional games, feasted, danced, conducted diplomacy, and traded.
Anurora kunang nachak, sunet latuniksa grandmara, paniktung nakataka tut hilalurungap ta asin simmik surak huting paniktuk torang miknik manilitarirmit tikangitnik katitangitnik atungang niuksunik sirachak tarona wanpano simmik haraktuk bumik uksumik ta anurora ta na simmik sukman kinirakigiga.
Katitqiglugligput Quyanaqtuq.
Funding is provided by the Kotzebue IRA Council and the Shared Beringian Heritage Program of the National Park Service.
Hi, Sarah.
See you. What we would like to do as your IRA Council is to extend to you what we envision as our tribal responsibility, and that is to illustrate for you, to the extent possible, the celebrating parts of our Inupiaq culture. We feel that they are very important to maintain human wholeness, and that we strive to reinstill some of the cultural and spiritual aspects of what it is that we do.
Ami watu sasu kam nigli uqaqtunga kiningit kalarat ka aglan umaak tokoting angamin agera nasut suli qabak nga kuwang min age building asin tema simmersuti building tarir mitli uqsuniglu atungang niglu aksunapanik natjitlu amingitnik qaqliksanik simmersuarnersut asinlitat qabanga pallortanik ammiksaanginik tatqapkokim pigisukkanginik qiaqqhunik qanusiniglu tema.
The summer trade fair at Sisulik was one of the largest traditional gatherings in the Inuit world that helped people survive. People traveled from inland and coastal areas of northwest Alaska. Sometimes they came from Bering Straits and as far away as Chukotka. Trade fair was the only time to safely travel through someone else's territory, like those shown in this Inupiaq Nation's map from the mid-1800s. In more ancient times, people may have gathered further north at Itiptirvik, where people lived at least 6,000 years ago.
At the time, you have to remember that there were no grocery stores, and a trading system among people developed they had trading partners. And my grandfather had a trading partner too, maybe several. I know he had one from the upper Kotzebue where they would take their dried fish and birch and whatever else and trade for mammal products down here. And my grandfather was a good hunter, and he always had a lot of oogroup skins and rawhide that they cut up and dried.
Tu Katitqiglugligput aglan takun nakengi allorut nakeniglo agiri mata nakengi allorut nagesukakakmet takengmet abane inland itonik pavane nunamitanik asak so khaluk allo mektuk temek uksuran lahutik pe amik tamat ko kuyap luting temo kiwak takku uksurak ayong nahitsuk.
When our seal hunters in this area didn't get as many pokes of oil like they used to, trading was not as brisk with oil, and it forced the Kotzebue people to hunt bear because they have to have that fat during the cold winters.
Pikangitnik, katitangitnik, atungangnik, uksunik, siratiak tarona wanpana, simmik Quyanaqtuq, boomik, uksumik, taanaroga taatna simmik sukman kiniragiga.
And it takes 8 whitefish to make a string of whitefish. 22 strings and bundled together. It's called Quyanaqtuq. It means it's set aside, put away. And the count remains the same all the time.
Several powerful forces brought a gradual end to the ancient Sisolic trade fair and other traditions in the early 1900s. Epidemics and other diseases wiped out many Alaska Native populations. In the Kotzebue region, the Friends Church preached against smoking, drinking, gambling, traditional Inupiaq spirit beliefs, and dancing. Where the church was strongest, the dancing stopped. Outsiders came in great numbers and wielded more influence. As the cash economy and new transportation systems grew, traditional trading faded away. Over time, people felt the loss of traditions, cultural values, and control over their lives. Elders began a revival of traditions when they gathered at Kotzebue in the late 1970s.
And we thought it was such a good idea to revive the trade fair. We invited people from different villages in our region and also from North Slope and Bering Straits because in the stories the Far Eastern people of Siberia used to come over in their boats and trade with our people.
In July of 1996, people gathered in Kotzebue from Chukotka, St. Lawrence Island, and Northwest Alaska to the modern celebration of the Northwest Native Trade Fair. They came to renew many connections among different peoples and across different generations and traditions.
I saw that first.
Today's trade is mainly for cash, but many of the items are traditional.
They're the first food processors made on Earth. The ulu. Okay. The first ones were made out of flint. Same design.
Ancient skills like skin sewing are still being passed on.
Sea otter. And then cut your material. That one is red whatever you want to do, and for the sizes. So it's quite a bit work on it. And the top is this is spotted seal, and this is sea otter. But I enjoy it since I retired. I do a lot of homework. I do a lot of things. Just enjoy that.
Are other people learning to do this from you?
Some come over and want to learn, and I share with them.
If we could get some of the young folks to come up here and get plates for the elders so we can serve the elders first, would be good.
Most significant events such as births, deaths, and marriages involved sharing of food as part of the tradition.
And they talk about bringing pokes, seal pokes of muktuk, and just slitting one open, and that was free for anyone to, I imagine how delicious it must have been.
Trade fairs had large feasts with a large variety of foods, something that continues today.
White, well, do we need more? It's muktuk, white muktuk. There's
that's ugrug, that's walrus, walrus and the intestine. That was the muktuk. That's the whale, fermented.
What kind of fish is it?
Sea fish. There was one big one, we had to cut it in 3 pieces just to make. It was about that.
Oh, is that right? One biscuit down?
Yeah. This is hot.
I'm fine, how? Your Kotzebue, Kivalida, your We're enjoying our meal here.
It's a spot on a nice day like this.
What I used to do that when I was
Katitqiglugligput Katitqiglugligput Timmaglukkinangaalugu pugudoreitnuniki itnarternersoq teet narsimavaallakuneesitiin akudukriiseeni ilaqatmiñun ilaqat miñun tabrungumajorsooniplu akudukroora'neeni.
These are bearded seal. Chewy. How about you? Really? Okay, I'm going to give you one of these white ones. You'll be begging me for more, you'll see. You want some more black meat? Make you taller? Yeah. Tuesday, see that guy right there? He got lots of belly. I'll find the small, skinny one right here. Small, skinny one right here.
Other people gotta have
They'd have the feast, and always in the evening, they'd take their drums out and dance.
There are stories of continuous dancing at the trade fair that lasted for several days. Dances retold traditional stories about people's living experiences.
And because we have a relationship with all the animals that we depend on to survive, we do a lot of their songs. When they hear a song, they're going to come on.
Dances feature balanced movements of the head, hands, and feet. What is done to the right is also done to the left. Dancers learn the rules, movements, and meaning of each dance. Dances that stay in balance are healing. There are many songs about dancing. The one who composed this song saw Anna and Tata, Grandma and Grandpa going to dance, and he also saw his nephew all enjoying the dance. Updated living experiences also generated new dances. Even though the Cold War cut off traditional contacts between St. Lawrence Island and Chukotka, strong feelings and connections remained. Timothy Galagran composed Bering Land Bridge to honor the ones we are waiting for.
By Ernest Frankson. It's about dominoes. Whoever lost during the game would have to make a new dance.
Aglan, narapun korala ko itawara. Anak tau di kangit temani aglan inuwe chule. Pilgunin nan mako sit kumiraka haneliwit na temeyak makilun tawang tuta katodit. Anak todit wau tamitira kenyak teneliwit. Tema todung ne chakto dubluak todung nakti lagaj. Akrajar luwa tamna aglan todok na paktot tema makap loa chet kut.
Yay! If you're working with rope and you're hauling animals, And sometimes your grip not only has to be strong, but your grip has to be strong, long. Okay. The women would get left at home. They'd even hunt stuff and snare and trap close to the house, pack the wood and all that. They had to be tough too. Good. No more. Good. Okay. Everyday kind of activities, like using a kayak, you can make a fun event out of it. Because maneuverability gets to be kind of a challenge. You have the ability, the accuracy to throw your hook, the distance to the target, snag it, and bring it in. The seals are really a big part of our life here on the coast. And the seal hop is a game that emulates the seal. This is really a painful game.
There he goes.
A person on their knuckles and on their toes in like a midway push-up position. If you can get your mind away from the pain, it goes away.
Hello, big head, Edward on count from Lavrentiya, Russia.
3, 2, 1, go!
We're a hunting society. And people's ability to be deft, to be quick, and still get a job done makes a great game.
The body is made of muskrat bellies. The tassels are wolverine.
You have to be able to skin the muskrat knowing that it's going to be used for clothing. So you don't want to put any holes in it. And the person who can do it the cleanest and quickest generally is the person who will win.
That he was skinning muskrat since he was 12 years old.
The skin sewing and clothing skills are displayed in a fashion show. And so what you see now are cloth designs as well as fur designs, traditional and contemporary clothing. And it's generally a beautiful display of especially our women's ability to make beautiful clothing.
Good afternoon.
The Miss Arctic Circle contest, they have to be able to display through a form of talent their knowledge of their culture.
Then the next day the ladies would skin the muskrat and they'd put it on the pelt stretcher to dry for about 4 to 6 days.
1, 2, 3, and go. We haven't had a good streamer tonight. We finally got one.
The blanket toss has its roots in sacred ceremony for hunters to shed oil and blood from the season's whaling harvest.
If a woman between whaling seasons gives birth to a boy, as that person is tossed, she will throw gifts to the elders in the hopes that that young boy will grow up to be a successful whaler or be part of a whaling crew. Now, we use it for fun. The guys that I learned to do the blanket toss from used to use the seal poke when you're up in the air.
some of the athletic contests that used to take place are not seen anymore.
I like to see play different games in the way it was played, to show the actual way it's done, even for demonstration purposes, supervised by Truman or someone like myself who've seen these games.
Traditions, knowledge, and connections were renewed and shared by peoples from Chukotka, St. Lawrence Island, and Northwest Alaska during the 1996 trade fair. There are still trading partners today. Inupiaq traditional games are now part of international competition. Many traditional skills and stories are still being passed on. Dances are being relearned from those who kept traditions alive. The traditions of the Northwest Native Trade Fair continue. Katitqiglugligput, Quyanaqtuq.
Funding is provided by the Kotzebue IRA Council and the Shared Beringian Heritage Program of the National Park Service.